Most people use AI like a really fast intern who has amnesia. Every single time you explain who you are, what your company does, who your customers are, what tone to write in, and then you get something back that's okay. You edit it for 20 minutes and then tomorrow you do the whole thing again. And many people call that using AI. Here's what I did instead. I took everything I know about my business, my offers, my customers, my tone of voice, my processes, and I fed all of it into one system. Not as a one-time prompt, as a permanent foundation the AI works from. And what I didn't expect is how much it changed my role. I stopped doing most of the thinking, not because I got lazy, because the AI actually started making decisions I agreed with. It drafted emails that sounded like me. It wrote content I could publish without editing. It ran processes I used to do manually every single day. And at some point, I looked at this thing and realized this isn't a tool anymore. This is my team. That's what this video is about. Not how to write better prompts, not which AI tool is best, but what happens when you stop using AI as a faster typewriter and start building something that actually knows your business. And look, I'm not judging. I did the exact same thing for months. You open ChatGPT or Claude or whatever you use. You type something like, write me a cold email for my agency, and the AI goes, sure. And it gives you something, but it's generic. It sounds like every other cold email you've ever read. So what do? You start adding context. We're a marketing agency. We work with B2B SaaS companies. Our tone is direct but friendly. We focus on outbound, blah, blah, blah. You're basically giving it a crash course on your business every single time. And maybe you've gotten a bit smarter about it. You saved a few prompts. Maybe you have a document somewhere with your company description that you paste in. But fundamentally, you're still doing the same thing. You're still the one holding all the context in your head, feeding it to the AI piece by piece and hoping the output is close enough that you don't have to rewrite the whole thing. That's not AI working for you. That's you working for the AI. At some point, I stepped back and asked myself a really simple question. Why is the AI so bad at this? And the answer wasn't that the AI was bad. The answer was that the AI didn't know anything. It didn't know my customers. It didn't know how I talk. It didn't know what we sell or how we position it or what a good proposal looks like in my business. Every time I started a new conversation, it was like hiring a new employee who knows nothing and expecting them to deliver great work on day one. And that's when I realized the problem was never the AI. The problem was the context, or rather the complete lack of it. So I made a decision. Instead of explaining my business to the AI over and over again, what if I just taught it everything once, permanently? What if I built a system where the AI already knows who we are, who we help, how we sound, and what good output looks like before I even ask it a single question? That's exactly what I did. And by the way, I genuinely believe that in the next 3 to 5 years, we'll see the first solo billionaires running entire companies with AI teams. In fact, it's already starting to happen right now. And what I'm showing you here is the first massive step in that direction. That's exactly what we help business owners and founders build. If this resonates with you and you want support, check the link in the pinned comment. We can look at what an AI operating system could actually do in your business and whether this would even be the right move for you. But let me show you what this actually looks like in practice. So here's what I built. Think of it as an AI brain for my business. I sat down and built a full business playbook for our company. Not just a collection of notes or a company wiki, an entire interconnected system of documents, structured and cross-linked like a neural network. Everything the AI needs to work like someone who's been at my company for 6 months, but organized in a way the AI can actually navigate and reason from. I wrote down who we are as a company, our DNA, what we believe, how we think, what makes us different. And then I mapped our ideal customer, not just B2B founders, but exactly who we help, what they struggle with, what language they use, and what they actually care about. I created a voice guide, how we sound, what words we use, what words we never use, what tone we go for. Because if the AI doesn't know how you talk, it'll sound like everyone else. Then I structured our offers, not just we do AI agents, but exactly what we sell, how we position it, what the transformation looks like, what objections come up, and how we handle them. And finally, I built out our processes, how we onboard clients, how we create content, how we do outreach, step by step with rules, templates, and examples. All of this lives in one structured system, and the AI has access to all of it, permanently. Not as a one-time paste, as a living foundation that gets updated as the business evolves. So when I ask the AI to write an email, it already knows who I'm writing to, what we sell, and how I sound. When I ask it to create content, it already knows our positioning, our audience, and our message. It doesn't guess, it knows. And that changes how we work. Now here's the part that really surprised me. And honestly, nobody really talks about this. When I first built this system, I expected better outputs. And yes, the outputs got way better. But that's not the real story. The real story is what happened to my role. Before this, my workflow looked like this. I think about what needs to happen, I open the AI, I explain the task, I explain the context, I review the output, I fix half of it, I do the next thing. I was still the one doing the thinking. The AI was basically just a faster typewriter. But after building the context layer, it's completely different. Now my workflow looks like this. I decide what needs to happen. I tell the AI, and it comes back with something I can actually use, not something I need to rewrite, something that's ready or close to ready. And that's when it hit me. My job isn't to do the work anymore. My job is to direct it. It's like the difference between being an actor in a movie and being the director. Before I was on stage, doing every scene myself. Now I'm in the chair saying, this is the scene, this is the tone, this is the audience, go. And the AI executes. I went from being the person who writes the emails to the person who decides which emails get sent. From the person who creates the content to the person who approves it. From the person who builds the processes to the person who designs them and lets the system run them. Your output, and that's important, is no longer limited by how fast you can work. It's limited by how well you orchestrate. Let's make this specific, because I know this sounds nice in theory, but what does it actually look like on a Tuesday morning? Here's an example. A new client signs up with us. Before I built the system, that meant I pull up the meeting notes, I manually create the contact in our CRM, I set up a project in our project management tool, I write a welcome email, I assign tasks, and that whole process easily 30 to 45 minutes. And it's the same steps every time. Now, because the AI knows our onboarding process, it knows our CRM structure, it knows how we communicate with new clients, I just say, onboard this client. And it does. It pulls the meeting transcript, creates the contact, sets up the project, drafts the welcome email in our tone, and I just review and approve. 5 minutes instead of 45. Or take content. I used to sit down, stare at a blank page and think, what should I write about? Then I draft something, rewrite it 3 times, and maybe published it 2 days later. Now, because the AI already knows our positioning, our audience, our voice, I give it a topic and a direction. And it comes back with a full draft that sounds like me. Not like a robot, like me, because it has my voice guide, my messaging pillars, my actual copy style loaded in. Or email. Here's one that sounds small, but honestly changed my mornings. I used to sit down at my desk and have 800 emails waiting for me. All need a reply, all need context. That alone could eat 30-40 minutes before I've done anything productive. Now I just tell the AI, draft replies to all of these in Gmail. And because it knows my context, it knows the client context, it basically thinks like I would. It drafts a response for every single one, ready to send. I read through them, and honestly, in most cases, I just hit send without changing a thing. Maybe 3 out of 10, I'll tweak something, but the default is it's already done right. And that's just the everyday stuff. On the strategic side, we're now iterating our entire cold email campaigns on a 4-day cycle. Because the AI reads the KPIs, knows the copy, knows the exact leads we're contacting, can tell us what's working and what's not, and suggests optimizations based on actual data. That kind of speed just wasn't possible before. The pattern is always the same. Because the AI already has the context, I skip the entire setup phase. I go straight to directing and reviewing. That's the difference. And this is where it gets really interesting, because this isn't just about saving time. This is about what kind of company you can actually build. We're a team of 3 people, and we operate like a company that should have 10 or 15. Not because we work crazy hours, not because we hustle harder than everyone else, but because the system does the work that people used to do. And I think that's the part most people haven't realized yet. The cards are being reshuffled right now. How you build a team, how many people you need, what you outsource, what you keep, all of those assumptions are changing. And the people who figure this out early, they're not just saving a few hours a week. They are building a completely different kind of business. So the real question isn't whether AI is useful. Everyone already knows that. The real question is, are you still the person doing all the thinking, or are you building something that thinks with you?